Hi, I'm Irving, and I have no life, just like you.
The Ballad of Irving. Irving. Big fat Irving. Big sport Irving. The 142nd fastest gun in the West.
Instead of a bunch of introduction, let's just dive right in. I studied this game on the store shelf for a long time before I finally bought it. I had no idea what it was about, but I learned that the whole Battlefield thing was a fairly long-running series, so it was time to check it out. Over the next several days, I monopolized the TV and the 360 as I made my way through this great, exciting, and laugh-inducing game. You're part of 222nd Battalion B Company. You're Preston Marlowe, a soldier who got himself into some trouble and wound up stuck with a company of misfits rather than going to prison. You meet your squad, consisting of Sergeant Redford, he's supposed to go home in 3 days, Haggard, who's the explosive expert, and Sweetwater. I'm not sure what he's all about, except that he really has the hots for the dispatch girl.
Bravo 1 Charlie, this is Mike 1 Juliet, over.
Listen, it's the new dispatch girl, Miss July.
Mike 1 Juliet, this is Bravo 1 Charlie, over.
You ought to move up ahead of the convoy to scout the terrain. I'll get back to you with further orders. Out.
Oh, she's got a real nice voice.
Sweetwater.
Check it out. It's cavalry. Yeah, isn't it amazing how we always go towards the fighting and they're always flying in the opposite... I hope those are our guns. It's a beautiful sound either way.
Listen out, boys!
Typical.
Drink your wine and sweets. It's about time we got some action. Look at the new guy. He's...
Well, that's an auspicious start. Time for the tutorial. You can carry one weapon at a time, a situation I'm not crazy about. Each weapon has a grenade ability with it, sometimes launched from the gun and sometimes thrown by hand. Plan on swapping weapons often. You can also carry one gadget. This might be an RPG, a laser designator, some C4 explosive, or some other such item. I especially like the power tool.
Good job, Marlowe.
You also carry some kind of syringe for healing yourself. You drive that truck you just fixed toward the next objective. The driving controls are a little weird. I've never seen a game that used the left trigger to go forward and the left bumper to go backward before, but it doesn't take that much getting used to. And one nice thing about this approach is you can do it all with one hand. You can use the right stick to look around if you want, but it isn't necessary, and I found it just threw me off. There's a fair bit of driving in this game, getting from point A to point B, having firefights with other vehicles and such, so if you get a good handle on it early, you'll enjoy the game that much more. Your first task is to take out some artillery crews that are shelling your guys. You don't have to blow the actual guns, just take out the guys operating them.
That's all. Push on.
After each mission, you regroup. It's usually at a smoke marker, though not this time. You get your next task almost immediately.
Charlie, are the artillery guns still intact? Juno convoy hit some trouble down by the bridge, over.
Mike 1 Juliet, you want us to use the enemy gun, over?
Affirmative. Bracket the hostiles by the bridge, boys, but be advised, we've got friendlies in the area. Out.
I ain't gonna do it. If I hit our guys, y'all gonna yell at me. Hey, crazy idea part 2. Let the new guy do it.
Well, of course the new guy gets to do it. How much fun would the game be if you just stood there and watched somebody else do it? Gee willikers, this is fun. One thing you might not realize is you only have a certain amount of time to get into the big gun and start firing.
What would you be doing?
Shit! We lost Juno convoy! We lost Juno convoy! The op is hosed! The op is FUBAR!
Interesting. And of course, The selection screen plays some appropriate, battle-heavy, intense music to get your blood boiling. Right. Moving on. Using the artillery is pretty easy, especially with this screen's dual aiming system. So once that's done, the column you were just protecting needs a way across the river. Unfortunately, the only decent crossing is currently occupied by a bunch of Russians. Oh yeah, I think I forgot to mention that. We're fighting the Russians in this war. As far as I can tell, and I've been through the game 3 times now, we never really find out why, though I did hear some rumblings about oil somewhere along the way. I'm not totally sure where we are either, but in the long run, it doesn't matter much. One interesting feature of this game that I haven't seen much before is the missions tend to be short and single focus. Take out the Russians at the river crossing. Go up to a farmhouse and clear it out. Some take a little longer than others depending on what you're up against, like this machine gun. It took me a while to figure it out, but after a respawn like this, the enemies that you've killed are still gone. The game saves your progress in accomplishing the mission, even though it puts you way back at a checkpoint. I like that. But I just couldn't seem to get rid of the machine gun, so I tried a different angle. Okay, that didn't work. I finally got a good position. Some missions are really short, like this one. Short and sweet. Haggard sums it up pretty well.
Feels good, doesn't it? I remember blowing up my first tank.
So now you're ready to meet your evac helicopter.
Got a visual on the LZ. Stand clear. Out. Here's a 6-5. I'm hit. I'm hit. Hell. 6-5. Going down. 6-5 going down. Shit! God damn it. We're on our own again.
Shit, I knew it!
Well, that's not good.
Another thing I haven't talked about yet is collectibles. Each level has a certain number of them. These are actually weapons stashed in obscure places around the map, and when you pick one up, you get credit for finding a collectible. Since you're constantly switching weapons all through the game, depending on how much ammo you have, what kinds of grenades you need, and all that, I'm not really sure about the collect part of that, but it's fun to try and find them all. Kind of like the meaningless flags in the first Assassin's Creed game, except that these collectibles actually fire bullets that you can use to deal with bad guys, where in Assassin's Creed you can't stab somebody with the flag stick. If you've been watching the screens, you also see a certain number of gold in each map. This one has none, so that should be easy to find. If it isn't, maybe you should try a different hobby. Just about everything we've done so far is basic gameplay. So what sets this game apart from other such games? Well, for one thing, the banter among these guys.
I wonder what Miss July would like to do for a weekend getaway.
You wouldn't have the guts to ask her.
This is a war, Sweetwater. You don't get the weekend off.
Yeah, well, someday this war's gonna end.
Wash your mouth out with soap.
You clear out more little villages and similar places for the convoy, but it doesn't help because they start getting shelled again. You take out some radar jammers so your air support can destroy the artillery, then it's a mop-up operation. Once that's done, Sweetwater makes a major discovery.
This is Bravo 1 Charlie Actual, reporting success on Objective Taurus. Over.
You've done great, Sergeant. And you're all still there? Over.
Actually, I think we've lost Sweetwater.
Come again? Over.
Dismiss that. Out. Sweetwater!
Sorry, Sergeant.
I'm over here, Sarge. And I think you'd all better get in here.
Boy, this better be good.
Come here. Take a look at this.
He's not Russian?
Nope. We got ourselves a mercenary. One of the Legionnaires, no less.
Whoa, the Legionnaire. I thought that was just a spook story.
Nah, he's real. Got his own damn army. Some say the deadliest in the world. Now look at this. Acta non verba. That's the Legionnaire's motto. It's Latin, and it means action, not words.
Hang on, I was at the Taco Emporium. I think you'll find that Spanish.
Oh, just shut up. Then your motto should be verba non acta, because you never shut the hell up. Let's get out of here.
You should listen, Sarge. Knowledge is power. For example, rumor says he always pays in gold bars.
I'll just check for a pulse in his pockets. Well, slap me hard and call me El Dorado.
Okay, El Dorado, let's have a look.
Whoa, whoa, finders keepers, that's the rule.
So, that's how it started. We found this little piece of gold. To people with less moral fiber, that might have posed a problem. But we're all men of duty.
On the chopper, Preston reflects that you all decided to hold on to the gold for safekeeping, splitting it 4 ways. Haggard isn't happy about that, but he can't do much about it. Now you're off to a town that's 20 kilometers behind enemy lines. You're the first to go in, even ahead of the Special Forces, because, as Redford explains, they're too expensive to lose. On the ground, you find a building with the same symbol that was on that mercenary.
Hey, Sweets. Ain't this the same fancy thing that was on that dead guy? Acta non verba. Yep, sure is.
Let's check it out.
Could be a trap.
Hey, new guy, you check it out.
Thanks a lot, Haggard. So this map has 2 collectibles and 4 gold bars. This is getting good. So how do you know when you found the gold?
You found another piece? We've got to be closing in on that mother load.
Nice. Next, you're off to blow some weapons storage and a fuel depot. More basic gameplay, except that you drive a boat. Well, I say driving. It's more like wrestling.
Got him.
Yeah, right.
I think I was supposed to drive the boat further than that, but it was stuck and I couldn't get it off that rock. Back on land, you take out the weapons storage and then have to deal with an armored car. And here we see one of the really nice things about this game. There's lots of ways to do something. There's an RPG up here to help you take out the armored car. Unfortunately, this particular time through, I didn't see it. You might have caught a glimpse of it there, but I only noticed it when I was watching these clips. I did find some C4 down below, so I went on a little excursion to handle this thing up close and personal. Now, I've seen plenty of games where this wouldn't work because you're expected to follow the linear path and do everything as set out in the program. Not here. I could have picked up that RPG and used it, but doing this, running up to it and planting the C4, worked just as well. More and more games are going to the multiple path approach, and it's nice. From the gamer's point of view, it makes things more interesting because if X doesn't work, try Y. From the developer's point of view, it gives the game better replay value, which means it'll probably be more popular than one that doesn't have that. So everybody wins, except the bad guys, but they're not supposed to. But after that's done, you get an assignment that's going to be a little different.
Charlie, this is Mike 1 Juliet. We have a Russian advance team approaching the bridge. They're your priority target. You cannot let them control the bridge. Over.
Mike 1 Juliet, we spread real thin down here. How about some air support, over?
Bravo 1 Charlie, negative on support request. I've got nothing for you right now. Can you deal with the situation? Over.
Yeah, we can deal. Out. I hate being dependable.
Sarge, see that thing over there? I think it's a Russian mortar guidance system.
Interesting. Bet we could use it against them.
Hell of a bet, Sarge. Hell of a bet.
Did you see what Haggard and Sweetwater were doing there? Get used to seeing that because they do it a lot. It doesn't take much to keep these guys amused. So, what's this mortar thingy going to be good for? More important, where's the rest of the gold? So, how do you use this thing? Well, basically, you point it at what you want to destroy and hold your trigger until that little semicircle thing fills up. Exposing yourself long enough for that to happen may or may not allow you to stay alive because these things have some nasty bullets.
Hey, cover!
I'm okay.
Here I go! Reload!
Сигнал принят! Сброс!
There's 2 armored cars to take out there, and then you go on into the next village and take out another one. You're heading into this town ahead of the main attack, which Haggard finds fortuitous.
You heard her. We're moving in.
That's fine with me. We get in first, maybe you'll find some gold.
That's not why we're here.
You want to sail the Caribbean? You gotta buy a boat, right?
There's more than a little crazy logic to that. The mission there is to destroy some anti-tank guns that are making it hard for your armored column to advance.
Reload!
Watch out!
Great! That's the first one! Keep them coming!
The Russians apparently have very little to say because you keep hearing the same things over and over and over.
Враг идет! Оружие к бою!
Arroz con pollo? I thought that was a Spanish dish, not a Russian one. You learn something new every day. So you move on and take out a few more of these anti-tank guns. Then once again it's time to regroup with the smoke and get more instructions from Miss July.
She knows my name, Haggard. She knows my name.
I've been thinking about Miss July. How do you know she's good looking? I have this cousin who has a beautiful voice, but a face like a can of dog food.
Is that the one that you dated?
Yep.
Cool.
A little too much information there, Haggard. One nice thing about reviewing this game is I don't have to come up with the jokes. They're already there. So next, you're hooking up with the tanks and your job is to protect them. Come again? Okay, if you saw my review of Call of Duty Finest Hour, you know my thoughts on this. The tanks have armor plating. I don't. But who's protecting who?
Whom?
I'm still not sure why the tanks can't use their cannons and machine guns and brute force and all the rest to protect themselves and the foot soldiers, but maybe I'm missing something. If you know what it is, please share it. Okay, wait a minute. You can get into the tank and ride on it. What's my weapon? Machine gun? Good enough.
Smoke those guys!
Shoot her! In the window!
Light tanks up ahead!
Or not. Well, here goes. Okay, back at the tank. These guys are coming from everywhere as usual, and my tank's health is going down.
Damn, we lost one of the tanks. Stay sharp.
Okay, maybe I should have grabbed a power tool instead of the RPG back at the beginning. It actually works better if you stay out of the tank because the bad guys are mainly shooting at you. I try not to ask too many questions and just go with it. Once you get the tanks where they're going, it's time to regroup again.
Look, they're running. You know my reputation, the Hagganator.
Right. The huge goddamn tank behind you had nothing to do with it, right?
Now you're being pulled away from the main battle to take out the enemy's command post, and especially their radio equipment so they can't direct the troops. Off we go. It's basic run and gun through a couple of machine guns and grenade launchers that you have to take out. It's not necessary to go into the command center to take it out, though. But of course, you're too late. They made the call and reinforcements are coming. Worse, there's a disabled tank in the town square and it's your job to protect it. Why can't you just use one of those power tools and fix it yourself? Because the game says so, I guess. So let's go protect the tank. Again.
There it is! Over by the fountain! Looks fried to me, Sarge!
Just let the engineers worry about that. Our job is to defend it till they get here. The end.
That building over there looks like a decent defensive position.
Well, that's useful. Which building? I wound up going into the one right behind the tank. There's a mounted machine gun there that comes in handy.
RPG, take down before they hit the tank.
Keep him off me! Keep him off me!
This'll take a few tries because the bad guys are all over the place as usual. A troop transport comes in and you'll be tempted to get out of the machine gun and take it out with an RPG, but it's not necessary. This is another matter.
This can't take much more of this!
That requires the RPG. But right after you do that, the good guys show up and it's mission accomplished. Now you're heading for the harbor, which is the final push to take the town. Oh, the town is called Zabegrad, by the way. Whoever came up with that deserves a bonus, because it's just a lot of fun to say. Zabegrad, Zabegrad, oh Zabba, 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 Zabegrad, Zabegrad, oh Zabba, Zabba. Yeah. Pressing on. The last leg of this level is just getting to the harbor. Basic stuff, but so much fun it's silly. You see the mercenaries leaving in a truck. Your character, Preston, wonders where they're going in such a hurry.
Where are they going so fast?
Okay, follow the trucks. A cutscene shows Sweetwater driving us on a shortcut to catch up with them, but by the time you get there, the trucks are already crossing the border. What border? From where to where? We don't actually know, and really, I guess it doesn't matter. You're not supposed to follow.
Where did Haggard go?
There's gold in them there hills!
Shit, that's a neutral zone. Haggard, fall back!
He can't hear you, Sarge. If he could, he wouldn't listen.
I hate to say this, but we have to go and get him back.
Do we really have to go and get him back? I mean, have to?
Move out.
I think that's my favorite scene in the whole game. So we're off to the next level, appropriately called Saving Private Haggard. That's where we'll pick it up next time. Until then, I'm Irving and I have no life, just like you.
Well, finally, Irving got 3 slugs in the belly. It was right outside the Frontier Deli. He was sitting there twirling his gun around, and Butterfingers Irving gunned himself down. Irving. Big fat Irving. Big dum-dum Irving. Big dum-dum dead Irving. The 142nd fastest gun in the West.